Is weather a concern for the Buffalo Bills? Hey Bills Mafia, welcome to my channel, Bills News Consolidated. In today's video, we're going to be examining the weather for the Buffalo Bills versus the Ravens. And why this is a concern for Bills Mafia is because statistically, we do not do well in rainy conditions. It's awfully hard throwing and slanging that ball and catching the ball when it's wet, when the pigskin is wet. So Bills Mafia really needs to pay attention to the weather report here, and I have it pulled up for you. You can see that the weather is not looking too good. And this is kind of with that Hurricane Ian coming up the coast. But you'll see Sunday, 75% chance at rain, 15-mile-an-hour winds. This is definitely going to suit the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, J.K. Dobbins, Justice Hill, Mike Davis, all their running backs that they have, plus with Lamar Jackson, the freakish ability from Lamar Jackson. The Buffalo Bills have been practicing this week with Tavon Austin as quarterback. And Reggie Gilliam had an interview. He was sitting down with Steve Tasker, and they asked him, who is that quarterback? Like, who is that quarterback mimicking Lamar Jackson? Like, who could even do that, right? And Reggie Gilliam said, yeah, it's been Tavon Austin. But and Gilliam joked, and he said he's actually completed a few passes too. And Tasker was like, wait, Tavon Austin completed a few passes in practice? Which kind of makes sense. That's a little bit nervous. It makes me a little bit nervous right there. Why is Tavon Austin complete passes in practice? A little bit scary. But again, the weather report here, occasional rain, 75% chance, and 15-mile-an-hour. Not good. And it kind of gives us flashbacks. What's with the weather? You go back to Miami, the heat, us having to adjust to the Miami Heat in September, but go back to last December when we played the Patriots at home. They only passed the ball 3 times. We didn't really know how to stop the run then. That's kind of the difference now, is that we're better stopping the run. But we do have a lot of injuries that we're going to get into in this video too. But that's kind of the difference. But that's the philosophy is still we are still struggling running the football, you know. And I really think this is a game where Ken Dorsey should get after it running the football, especially Josh Allen coming off the game that he just had, 63 passes. Even Thurman Thomas was interviewed this week, and he was saying that's not sustainable for the long-term health of Josh Allen. You cannot be throwing the ball 63 times a game. We have to develop a running attack. And I like what Thurman Thomas also said when he was talking about getting one back in a groove. Like, instead of mixing between the backs, and I think getting one guy in a groove. Now, early in the game, it's good to mix and see which one's doing well, right? But and which ones are successful and going with that back. But, you know, I really like playing running back. I played running back, and I hated only getting the ball here and there. Right, it was so annoying. You couldn't get a feel of the defense. I'd rather get in like a groove. You get in a feel. I don't know. It's like the rhythm. It's harder to describe. I don't know, but I'm sure it's like that for anything. It's hard coming off and on, or not seeing the ball. You know, running backs have lots of different duties, right? But let's get into some more stuff here. We already got into the weather. That rain and wind is a concern for Bills Mafia. We're a high potent passing attack with Josh Allen slanging that ball to Stephon Diggs. Much harder passing the ball in wind and rainy conditions. It's a lot easier to take that football and hand it off to J.K. Dobbins or hand it off to Justice Hill and slam you right in the mouth, right? But this is a game, the Buffalo Bills, if it is rainy, that turf, you know, got to be careful. Got to be extremely, extremely careful. It's actually grass. It's not turf. It's grass. They switched it, but swampy mess stuff. You know, it kind of brings me. I was gonna discuss it tonight too. It's like, what's going on with the Bills Stadium, right? It's like we're Buffalo people. We want it outdoors. Right, the snow and the weather, like, we live it. Like, that is us. The weather is Buffalo, man. And I get it. I absolutely get it. But seeing that we're not good in bad weather, it's concerning. It's concerning. But we got to just fix it because, you know, we just got to get better in bad weather, especially if there's new stadiums being built. You know, without a dome, we got to fix it. We got to fix it, man. This ain't going away anytime soon. It's not going away anytime soon. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's fix this running game. I think give James Cook some more carries, man. I want to see James Cook. Let's move on to this injury report for the Buffalo Bills, and we're going to get into the Ravens injury report and some other updates going on. Baby, I've been looking at this. I've been watching the Ravens games. I've been studying our game film too, and there's some glaring holes on the Ravens, but there sure is some glaring holes for the Bills. Unfortunate news. First thing we could see, Gabe Davis did not participate. He was limited Wednesday, played against Miami, but was limited Wednesday, did not participate on Thursday. So it does look like Gabe Davis actually had some sort of setback, or maybe they're just being really cautious with him. Gotta see what's going on there. It's not good. Christian Benford, we all know, is going to be out at least a couple weeks. Jay Kumaro did not participate on Thursday. He's going to be out this upcoming game. Jordan Phillips is definitely out this game. I mean, the Buffalo Bills have a lot of question marks going into the Ravens. Is Dawson Knox going to play? Is Dane Jackson going to actually see the field? I mean, all these guys are still questionable. Ryan Bates, concussion protocol. Is he going to see the field? Mitch Morris. Looks like Deion Dawkins is definitely going to be a go. It doesn't seem any issues there. Our new free agent signing, Justin Murray, which I actually like. I like him. He's going to come in and compete, man. He'll come in and compete with Spencer Brown. And he could play guard too, which is huge. But Ed Oliver, limited. He's questionable this game. It's just tough. Jordan Poyer, limited. So he's questionable. I'm actually thinking Jordan Poyer's trending up. Jordan Poyer could very well start this game, which would be a huge addition for the Bills. Mitch Morris would be a huge addition for the Bills. And then, I don't know. I think maybe Gabe Davis takes this game off. I mean, going against Marlon Humphrey, going against that defense, man. Are you kidding me right now? Some tough stuff. But let's get into this Ravens. The Ravens injury report is looking pretty hefty here too. Right? Look at all the non-participants on Thursday here. Patrick McCarry, right? This is a huge loss, and we're going to focus on the Ravens' offensive line. This is huge advantage for the Bills. I think we have to get after Lamar Jackson. Regardless, they're doing a lot of RPO, the run-pass option, trying to hold that defensive end up, whether it's Russo or Miller. Think Shaq Lawson. I like having these defensive ends that went against the RPO in college. Von Miller, I don't know how much experience he really has going against the RPO. Look at Shaq Lawson. Shaq Lawson does a great job going against the RPO, right? Greg Rousseau does a great job. I'm sure Boogie Basham does a good job. AJ Epinesa. These defensive ends have gone against the RPO in college, right? And I think it suits them very well going against Lamar Jackson. We saw it in the playoffs, right? We really don't get beat. We don't really let Lamar Jackson beat our containment, right? He has to turn it upfield, which is dangerous. It's dangerous, and that's what you want to do, is force Lamar Jackson straight up the field, because that's where everyone really is. You don't want him breaking around, going outside. But huge loss there on their offensive line is Patrick McCarry, and we're going to take a look at that. Ronnie Stanley is limited, or he's been full participant, but he's been hurt with an ankle. So that would be a huge addition for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to show you guys here exactly why. Ronnie Stanley, their starting left tackle, one of the best left tackles in football, questionable for this game, right? But look at his backup, Patrick McCarry, who we were just talking about. He is questionable in this game. So he and Ronnie Stanley may very well not play. So what happened last week for the Baltimore Ravens when Patrick McCarry went down? We're going to take a look at the last week's snap counts. You can see right above my head here. This is the starting offensive line for the Baltimore Ravens. Ronnie Stanley, you can see he's rated 89 overall. He's a beast of a player. But look, he didn't play at all this season, right? Look at his snap counts. Week 1, Week 2, Week 3 hasn't played yet. Patrick McCarry started at left tackle. He had a 57% snap count Week 1, 100% snap count Week 2. Week 3, he only had 10 because he got hurt. And then what happened? Daniel Falele steps in, okay? Left tackle Daniel Falele had a 90% snap count in week 3. If Patrick McCarry is not ready, if Ronnie Stanley is still not ready, we're going to see this Daniel Falele starting at left tackle. Now let's take a look at this guy for the Ravens. Let's see, Daniel Falele. I want you guys to see the size of this dude. 6'8", 380 pounds. So starting left tackle for the Baltimore Ravens could very well be number 77, Daniel Falele. 4th round pick, rookie this year, 6'8", 380 pounds, potentially going against Von Miller, Greg Rousseau. I really like Von Miller against a guy like this because that bend, right? He's smaller, he's quicker. You really think a 6'8", 380-pound guy is going to be able to get his hands on Von Miller? Man, and then Rousseau, his benefit is the reach, right? But Rousseau doesn't really line up over on that side anyways. So, but I just wanted to show you guys the size of Daniel Falele and if he starts. Crazy. But Ronnie Stanley, if you go to the Ravens website, he even says that he's trending up. He says that he's trending up this week, and he seems like he's ready to go. And he could very well start against us. I mentioned in my previous video, I really think the weak point on this offensive line is between the left guard and center, between this Ben Bowers and Tyler Lindenbaum. Really think if Ed Oliver or Tim Settle can kind of exploit this Ben Bowers. Ben Bowers is the same. Like, he's a big, heavy type left guard. He's presumably slow, 6'4", 340 pounds. So that left side of the Ravens could very well be very slow. So having Von Miller and Ed Oliver rushing off that edge on that left side, we could just use speed, use a lot of speed to get to Lamar Jackson in between the center and tackle. Morgan Moses is another tall, long tackle. You'll see 6'6", 320 pounds. Greg Rousseau, man, we got to get another sack this week, baby. Keep wrecking him up. He's doing an awesome job. Greg Rousseau. I need him to be dominant, man. I want him to look like a Julius Peppers or something. You know what I'm saying? So, whoops. But yeah, crazy, guys. Crazy. And then the other thing I wanted to just glance at really quick here is the matchup, right? I think this is important to take a look at. Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson so far this season. Let's just take a look at their stats, right? Josh Allen is 94 of 132 passes, right? Josh Allen has thrown 132 passes, whereas Lamar Jackson has thrown 88 times, right? Lamar Jackson is 56 of 88. You can see the total yards. Josh Allen already has over 1,000 yards. It's not even. We're going into week 4. We're going into week 4. At this rate, freaking Josh Allen is gonna have so many freaking passes. He's gonna have like 7,000 passing yards. Keeps this up. Freaking kidding me right now? Unbelievable start. But Josh Allen, he's doing good. He's doing pretty good. 1,014 yards passing, 9 touchdowns passing, and 2 interceptions. Here's the key. Lamar Jackson, 10 touchdowns passing, 2 interceptions. Lamar Jackson actually has 1 more passing touchdown than Josh Allen, but not as many yards. And this is a key sign of why the Buffalo Bills lost against the Miami Dolphins. It's our red zone. We're struggling in the red zone right now. I mean, we paid that money to Dawson Knox. We're looking at Gabe Davis to be that true opposite wide receiver of Stephon Diggs, right? We got to get a red zone target, a red zone threat other than Stephon Diggs. Teams are going to start locking him up, taking that away, and other than Josh Allen. Josh Allen should not have to sacrifice himself diving in there. We got to figure that out. And I think the answer could very well be James Cook and some creative play calling, coming up with some creative stuff. You know, the jet sweep to Isaiah McKenzie, right? That type of stuff. So look at the rushing yards too. I mean, both kind of running back or quarterbacks. Josh Allen has 113 yards rushing this year and 1 touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 243 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. rushing. So he's definitely, I'd say, obviously Lamar Jackson is definitely a better runner of the football, and he embraces that more. I think people just expect Lamar Jackson to run the football. You know what I mean? Josh Allen, the talk is like, oh, he shouldn't run it, protect himself. But people, that's like Lamar Jackson. That's part of his game, is taking off, running it, juking people. That's Lamar Jackson, And I love that John Harbaugh doesn't take that away from him. Thank God Lamar Jackson didn't end up on a team that limited his abilities. And I don't know if you guys have been following me, but I've been doing this for quite a while. And when Josh Allen was coming out in that draft, there was 2 quarterbacks that I wanted. And Josh Allen was my number 1 quarterback. Everyone hated me because everyone wanted Rosen, right? Or Darnold. But I wanted Josh Allen. I knew he was a perfect fit. And then I figured if Josh Allen wasn't there, if we couldn't get Josh Allen, the next guy I wanted was Lamar Jackson. And my thinking at the time was that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson both had a God-given ability that was uncoachable. It was just God-given. And that whether it's their skill set, Josh Allen with that cannon arm and size, and I saw the athletic ability in the pocket. You could tell for him being that big, that heavy, and that agile. Josh Allen is a freak athlete. He's a freak athlete. People need to realize he's a super freak. Josh Allen's a dang freak, super freak. Okay, Lamar Jackson in his own right is a dang super freak. I really think he's like Mike Vick but right-handed, and he's taller, and I think he's got a little bit stronger of an arm too. To be honest, it's dangerous. He's dangerous, and I saw at the time both God-given abilities from both these quarterbacks. I look at both these teams and I'm like, oh my God, we match up so well, and I really think it's going to boil down to our coaches. It's going to come down to coaching. It's going to come down to who coaches this game up better. Receiving yards, receiving leader for the Baltimore Ravens is a tight end. 22 receptions, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mark Andrews. Stephon Diggs, 27 receptions, 344 yards, 4 receiving touchdowns. The number 1 wide receiver in the NFL after 3 weeks. Eat the sauce. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's big time. That's big time, Bills Mafia. But this Ravens team, it's no joke. Absolutely no joke. Marcus Peters, right? Marlon Humphrey, Chuck Clark, Marcus Williams. That back end of that defense is nasty. It's nasty. Justin Houston, right? Adafi Owe, Calais Campbell. All these dudes. They're dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. But tomorrow I am actually releasing an edited, crispy freaking video. All the matchups for the Buffalo Bills going against the Baltimore Ravens. Pray for no rain. We do not do good in bad weather, and it is a concern, especially in rainy weather. Throwing that ball is so much harder than running it like the Ravens. And just like the Patriots did against us last year in that snowy, windy conditions, that's how we lost. It was just fundamentally the weather suited what they did best. And this game really does worry me with the weather. And matchup-wise, they have a ton of talent. So tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing a video with all the matchups, like Dawson Knox versus Patrick Queen and those linebackers. That Dawson Knox has a 3 to 4 inch height advantage versus the linebackers, right? Isaiah McKenzie and Jamison Crowder in the slot going against a little bit of a injury-riddled slot position for the Ravens. Who's going to fill that slot position? Isaiah McKenzie could have a very big day. But we're going to break this all down. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. Go Bills. Peace.